Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Monday, May 20th, 2019.
Commissioner Garcia, Cabello, James, and Caloza are present. President James, we do have a quorum. May we start with bureau introductions, starting with the Bureau of Street Services.
Adel Hashkhalil, Director, Bureau of Street Services, Streets LA.
Gary Lee Moore, Bureau of Engineering.
Chris Smith, Assistant Director, Bureau Contract Administration.
Ali Visi, LA Sanitation.
Norma Sahakian, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. No speaker cards were received for any of the items for today's agenda.
Okay, let's just take our one administrative item real quick. Agenda item number 7, specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. This is for the Community Development Block Grant, Council District 1, Pedestrian Safety Improvements Phase 1. The estimate $671,018. The bid receipt date is June 26, 2019. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 7 forthwith by Commissioner Cabello? So, good morning, everyone. This is a very, just a great week around the country. It is the beginning of National Public Works Week, and we start this morning with a presentation from our Mayor's Office of City Services and our Director of Infrastructure, Liz Crossan. And while Liz makes her way up, I want to welcome this morning Felicia Marcus, who is with us, a former president of the Board of Public Works, a State Water Resources Control Board leader in the state for, Felicia, it must have been 7-8 years, I think you were in that role. Okay, well, I was close. And a co-founder of Heal the Bay. Felicia, thank you so much for your leadership. For your always looking out as a native Angelino, for always looking out for us in Los Angeles, and for your environmental leadership for the better part of a generation. Thank you so much. And the work that you've done over the years, we work hard to carry it on and to continue here at the Board of Public Works. And thank you on behalf of our mayor for being here as well. Thank you. Liz.
Good morning. Thank you, President James. Good morning, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here, especially on a day like this when we're kicking off Public Works Week after a week of Infrastructure Week last week. So I'm here today to commemorate this amazing week and let you know that we all consider you to be, and the work that you do, a vital part of our everyday city services and really in the implementation of the mayor's ambitious goals for the city, whether that's basic city services or his very ambitious sustainability goals. It is really you folks, the Department of Public Works, that makes that happen every single day. So I want to thank you for that. And on behalf of the mayor, I am here to highlight a few of those accomplishments that you all have led, including that we continue to repair and repave more roads than any time in our history, that we have repaired over 22 miles of sidewalk, that we have converted almost 7,000 streetlights this year to LED bulbs, with LA having 91% of all of our streetlights be LED. We've collected over $2 million in restituted wages to underpaid employees. We've broke ground on 2 new river bridges. We've diverted over 2,400 tons of food from landfills in a single year through our Recycla program. We continue to improve customer service at all of our counters and improve 311 response times across the board. We have come a long way in these 5 years, and the future continues to look bright. And a few major goals that the mayor has set forth, I know that you all will be able to deliver on, including that we will break ground on citywide food collection by 2021, food waste collection by 2021. We'll increase stormwater capture to 75,000 acre feet per year by 2025. No, that's actually 2021 too, because of the work of the Bureau of Sanitation and the passage of Measure W. We will continue to finish our construction on complete streets and start the design of the next phase. We're launching a mayor's jobs cabinet, which we are hoping you will all participate in so that we can accomplish 300,000 green jobs by 2035. We're revolutionizing our streetlights with new smart technologies. We're going to convert Hyperion wastewater treatment facility to 100% wastewater recycling, and this is all the work of these departments, of the bureaus, and your leadership as the Board of Public Works. So on behalf of the mayor, I want to congratulate you, and I really want to present this certificate today commemorating National Public Works Week, signed by Mayor Eric Garcetti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Crossan. And before we will do an official acceptance of that with a photograph, but before we do that, I just wanted to say a couple of things. My colleagues may feel the same as well. First of all, thank you to the leadership from the bureaus that are here with our general managers, with Gary Lee Moore and Adele Hajj-Khalil and Norma Sahakian specifically. And Liz, really to your team in city services, you have such a great team under Deputy Mayor Barbara Romero and yourself in that office. It's such a great partnership. It's so seamless and smooth, the work that we do together. And with Ms. Marcus being here today, you know, it's fitting to be able to just really compliment ourselves on the environmental work that the city is doing and our mayor in this administration. Everything from what's the big announcement this year with what's happening at Hyperion and water treatment and water recycling, to the zero waste and the recycling of trash, to cool pavement, and in many ways the recycling and re-engineering of our roads in a much more environmentally sustainable way. So just thank you to your team, to the Deputy Mayor for your leadership. Thanks. So what we'll do is just take a brief recess over here for a quick photograph with the certificate. And Ms. Marcus, would you join us? Great, thank you. What? Oh yeah, where's Jen? And a very fitting additional presentation this morning for National Public Works Week. And again, Ms. Marcus, thank you for being here. Ms. Crossan as well, thank you. Our Keep Los Angeles Beautiful Grants intern recognition by Commissioner Garcia. And before we even start, Commissioner Garcia, let me just interrupt your presentation with a shout out and thank you for the beautification conference on Saturday. I had a great time. It was so well done. And just for those of you that weren't able to be here, Commissioner Garcia worked this conference around a huge United Way walk for home, which was in the adjacent park at Grand Park. So to get people in and out of the building when people were crisscrossing and people were sometimes confused about which event was which, and we still managed to get the attendees here. What did we start, 15 minutes late, maybe? And the exhibitors were here. The conversations were terrific. The most important part that I thought, Commissioner Garcia, from the time I spent here and the people I talked to, they were so happy that the city was hosting this, that they were able to meet people in spaces in which they want to work. It was just a giant networking opportunity that really I thought was really successful. So thank you to you and your team, and I know the people that you're about to recognize were a big part of it as well. But I just wanted to say it was a great event over the weekend, so thank you.
Thank you, President James. I appreciate that. It was a mission to get here, but it was not impossible like what we do all the time here at Public Works. We get things done. So that's what we did Saturday. We got it done. We got people to get here. So thank you so much for that. It is my honor to start National Public Works Week this way by first receiving a proclamation by the Mayor's Office. Thank you to the Mayor's Office for that as a team. And it gives me great pleasure to do this honoree today. So when I started, and part of my assignments were to keep Los Angeles beautiful affiliation under one of my assignments, I decided that we, under council, because we do have council approval to fundraise and write grants under Keep Los Angeles Beautiful, I decided that this was one of the programs that we should highlight. And I know that I can't do this by myself, so I put together a small team that would help us put together all the wording and the language and get us ready to start launching some fundraising to make sure that we get a program together under the Keep Los Angeles Beautiful. And that's exactly what I did a couple months ago. And I was very fortunate enough to know first and foremost, Bobby Arias, President of Communities in Schools. If you don't know what Communities in Schools is or who Communities in School is, Bobby is an icon out in the San Fernando Valley. He's a longtime resident over there, but he's also the president of Communities in Schools. And Communities in Schools, what he has done for the past 10 years, probably 20 years is that what in his words says he farms out interns. So interns from master level interns from different universities here in the LA City area go under his internship for a year, and he kind of places them in different places. So when I started trying to figure out who can I put together for this team, I right away called them and asked for 2 interns to come and be placed out of City Hall. Bobby Arias, the president and CEO, does the overall supervision on their social work, but I did the work and so forth, supervision here in City Hall. And so what they were tasked to do is to really put together the wording and get us prepared with the one-pagers, long version, short version, every type of version you can think about in writing, and getting us ready with our public interference when we get ready for that. And so Bobby, do you want to come up? I want to give you just a little small shout out to you and then Mariana and Albert, also come up, please. Carla, you're also the Vice President of Communities in Schools. Come on up too, because I know you did a lot of work around them too. So these are it's okay, come closer. Mariana and Albert, if you saw them here, they were here every Monday for the past 6 months, almost, yeah. A whole academic year. And I did equal opportunity, so we had one from UCLA and one from USC. I didn't prefer, it was open to everybody. And so actually they did a really great job in coming every Monday, being part of our team, and we met as we worked together through the language. So on your graduation or your upcoming graduation, we hope that this time here at City Hall was fruitful, productive, and you had a great experience here with us. So we thank you for that. And Bobby, do you want to share a few words on
just quickly. As a resident Angelino, my family's been here over 100 years. This is a particularly great day in a lot of ways. For the past 20 years, as she says, I've had graduate MSW interns from Cal State LA, Cal State Northridge, Cal State Dominguez, UCLA, my alma mater, USC. When Auda called me, she said, Bobby, I need your best. And we really have two wonderful young people. And it was exciting for me. I almost lived vicariously through them coming back on their Mondays they were with you, Wednesdays they would be with me, and to talk and hear their excitement and passion to see the inner workings of the city from behind the curtain. And it's ironic because we had evaluations from their field professors, and to hear them talk in glowing terms about what you good people did for them, it's things that they will take with them the rest of their careers. So I thank you wholeheartedly from the San Fernando Valley and certainly from their respective universities. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I would just like to say thank you for this opportunity. As Bobby mentioned, I am working on my master's in social welfare, and a lot of the times I think people think like, what can social workers do at City Hall, and why would we be in public works? But there's definitely a lot of relevance and overlap, and as social workers we always need to be thinking about how we can improve our communities. And so I think that that's definitely one thing that I learned from being here, in addition to all the development, grant writing, and all of that, which I will take with me as I hopefully become an administrator in nonprofits.
Great. Thank you. And you're a Bruin, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, commissioners and heads of various departments and bureaus. I'm not as eloquent as the other speakers, but I would just like to say that, as Mariana said, that, you know, when you think of social workers, you don't necessarily think of public works, but going through the various tours that the commissioner set up, it was something that a lot of things that the Board of Public Works is in charge of that we don't ever think of. For instance, sanitation. Like, I live next to Balboa Park and never knew there's a massive sanitation facility right there, but it is something that is very necessary for society to function. And not only should we improve our neighborhoods as far as what we can see, but also what we can't see. And I think social workers can play a very vital role in conjunction with what you guys do. And so the time here is that I've had is very valuable, and I thank Bobby, I thank the commissioner, I thank the board in general for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Very eloquent.
I'd be remiss. I don't know if you know this, but your colleague on June 14th is going to be honored by the Red Cross for her community contributions. So the Odyssey Restaurant. So we wanted to salute her for that too.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Mariana and Albert, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Board of Public Works, we thank you for your contributions to the revitalization of the Keep Los Angeles Beautiful campaign. Your creativity, along with your professionalism to develop and construct the program materials for the City of Los Angeles, is invaluable and vital to moving forward with its implementations. Thank you, Albert and Mariana.
Thank you. Thank you both. And Commissioner Garcia, first of all, to our young people, thank you for the work that you did, the time that you spent here. You know, your time here keeps our ideas fresh, and that's why you're so valuable to us. And we hope that that we're able to pay it forward to you. You're our future. You know, we had people that were older than us, for me longer ago than I want to admit, that that provided internship opportunities for me. And I think it's great that our board is able to do this, that our department is able to do this, and Commissioner Garcia, that you were willing to be the one to be the mentor here and manage this this program. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Again, if we could take just a quick photograph, and then we'll come back to our agenda. Thank you. And before we do that, while we're on the record, Dr. Campos, why don't we go ahead and close general public comment, because we don't have any comment cards, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, let's return to our agenda. Again, thank you everyone for your, and thank you for your time with us. Our board meeting minutes are for the, meeting approval minutes are for the meeting of Wednesday, April 10th. Cecilia Cabello, Commissioner Cabello has seconded my motion that we approve the meeting minutes of the meeting of Wednesday, April 10th, while I try to get my meeting legs back under me. Agenda item number 1. Sanitation grant acceptance, mobile source, air pollution reduction review committee's clean transportation funding, recommending that the board approve and forward this report with transmittals to the mayor and the city council, with the recommendation that the director of LA Sanitation and Environment or his designee be authorized to accept $900,000 in grant funds from the mobile source air pollution reduction review committee, to conduct all negotiations, to provide additional information, and to execute and submit all documents, including but not limited to agreements, amendments, subject to the approval of the city attorney as to form and legality, which may be necessary to secure funding with respect to the purchase of 8 medium-duty electric refuse collection vehicles and its electric vehicle charging infrastructure. The authority for sanitation to apply for grant funding may be found on Council File 11-0527, which is transmittal number 1. And secondly, request that the City Council adopt the resolution approving the acceptance of grant funding in the amount of $900,000 and appointing the Director of Sanitation or his designee to conduct all negotiations and to execute and submit all documents necessary to accept and expend the grant funding for the procurement of 8 medium-duty electric refuse collection vehicles and its required EV charging infrastructure. Ms. Tan, thank you.
Good morning. Charlotte Tan of LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm here to request for authority to accept $900,000 in grant award from the Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction Committee through the 2017 Local Government Partnership Program. Acceptance of this money will help in the procurement to offset the procurement and the cost of procuring 8 battery electric Class 6 refuse collection vehicles and charging equipment. In a correspondence to the City Council in April 2018, Mayor Eric Garcetti reported the availability of $3 million awarded to the city by the MSRC Clean Transportation Funding through the 2017 Local Government Partnership Program. The mayor also recommended that $900,000 of these monies be allocated to LA Sanitation and Environment for the acquisition of electric refuse collection vehicles. Acceptance of the grant was adopted and approved by the City Council and the mayor in May of 2018. Later on in September 2018, LA Sanitation received a draft contract from MSRC for the $900,000 award towards the procurement of 8 electric medium refuse collection vehicles and charging equipment. The total estimated cost of the electric medium refuse collection vehicles and its required EV charging infrastructure is estimated to be at $2.4 million. Therefore, accepting $900,000 would offset approximately 37% of the cost of procurement. Therefore, LA Sanitation and Environment would like to request the board to approve and forward the submitted report to the mayor and the city council, and to adopt the submitted resolution approving acceptance of the grant funding in the amount of $900,000 from the MSRC, and to have LA Sanitation execute and submit all necessary documents necessary to accept and expand the grant funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tan. Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you, President James. I just want to, first of all, commend sanitation for pursuing this money, understanding that the mayor's ambitious sustainability goals require the electrification of our fleet, and nobody knows that more than Pepe over here and the challenge that he has moving forward. But let me tell you, I think these drivers are going to love the electric vehicles. I have one. They're fantastic, and this kind of investment is vital to moving the mayor's goals forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tan, thank you for the explanation. I don't have any questions. I think you did an excellent job of kind of explaining the actual cost, because when you read just, and the board report does too, but when you read just the kind of agenda description,
Right.
it sounds like we're getting $900,000 for 8 trucks, and I'm like, you know, initially you could think, oh wow, they're only about $100,000 bucks
Right.
each. But then you see the full board report and you recognize, okay, it's 2.4 million and this 900,000. But you provided that explanation, so thank you for clearing that
Thank
up.
you.
I just put an exclamation point on it.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1. No, that's Commissioner Cabello's motion. I'll second, since she just told us she drives an electrical. Oh, okay, not a
Okay.
refuse truck. Okay.
You.
Then that'll be Commissioner Cabello's motion, and I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith?
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll send number 1 forthwith. Pepe, good to see you. Thank you. Agenda item number 2, task order A3-16-02, amendment number 1, DCSC Incorporated, recommending that the board authorize the Director of Sanitation or his designee to issue amendment number 1 to the existing project task order A3-16-02, support for GIS mobile service fulfillment system with DCSE Incorporated, increasing the cost ceiling from $460,000 to $710,000. Mr. Solario.
Good morning, President James. Good morning, board members. My name is Marco Solorio with LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm a systems analyst in ICSD. I'm here seeking your approval of this amendment to the TOS, requesting an additional $250,000, taking the ceiling from $450,000 to $710,000. Currently, our system, called Sandstar, successfully handles over 3,800 tickets originating from the MyLA system. These tickets are anything from a bulky item, container services requests, homeless encampment requests, and illegal dump pickup requests. The formation of the Livability Services Division and the expansion of the Clean Streets field teams compels us to further develop and enhance Sandstar to handle all the additional requests that are coming in, that will be coming in. AMS, the Authorization Management System, is used to track and service all of our homeless encampments and illegal dumping. That's where most of these enhancements will come into play. The enhancements will include better reporting options to better track and service these homeless encampments and illegal dumps. It will also streamline the authorization process, making the process itself more efficient, eliminating repetitive steps and recognizing tickets that don't need to be serviced if they're on private property, for example. DCSC is our current sole provider and developer, and they are an MBE, and we would like to retain their services for this.
And I'm assuming, Mr. Solorio, just based on the presentation, and I can tell from the board report, but I like the oral report to reflect it, you all are satisfied with DCSE and the work that they're doing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And big day for you this morning, Pepe. with 2 items. Any questions at all on agenda item number 2? Thank you. This is obviously important work. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2.
Thank you so
Seconded
much.
by Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Agenda, and just, never mind, I don't have anything for Mr. Jordan on that. Agenda item number 3, task order solicitation SN 82, amendment number 1, CDM Smith, Council Districts 2 and 6. Authorize the Director of Sanitation and or his designee to issue amendment number 1 to task order solicitation SN 82 to CDM Smith, increasing the budget from $320,000 to $400,000 for the studies required by CEQA, that's the California Environmental Quality Act, the Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act, that's WIFIA, and I think that's federal, and the state revolving fund loan. The term of engagement remains the same. Mr. Perez.
Good morning. My name is Eduardo Perez with LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm here today to request the board to authorize task order solicitation SN 82 amendment number 1 for the East-West Valley Interceptor Sewer Environmental Impact Report. The East-West Valley Interceptor Sewer is a project that will convey wastewater from the North Hollywood area to the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant to increase the output of reclaimed water. This project will deliver the flow necessary to maximize recycled water production for the Advanced Water Treatment Facility. On October 31st, 2018, the board authorized LA Sanitation to award the TOS SA2 to CDM Smith for the development of the East-West Valley Interceptor Sewer EIR with a contract amount of $320,000. We are currently in the process of developing the EIR. Simultaneously, LA Sanitation intends to pursue federal funding under Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act, WIFIA, and the California State Revolving Fund Loan. The WIFIA program accelerates investment in our nation's water infrastructure by providing long-term, low-cost supplemental loans for regulatory and nationally specific projects. Projects receiving WIFIA credit assistance must comply with additional environmental compliance requirements and studies that referred as the Federal Cross-Cutter, or CEQA Plus requirements. Therefore, I am requesting the board increase the budget from $320,000 to $400,000 for the studies required by the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, WIFIA, and State Revolving Fund. The terms of the engagement, again, will remain the same. This concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you. Really just to kind of summarize. So the additional $80,000 is needed because additional work is needed around kind of the CEQA aspect of the WIFIA element of what we're applying for.
That is correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? And Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Thank you, sir. Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Agenda item number 4, street services. This is a tree removal, Council District 14. 1700 through 1750 South Grand Avenue on West 17th Street. Recommending that the board first find that the tree removals, number 1, are classified as operation, repair, maintenance, or minor alteration of existing street, sidewalk, and gutter involving negligible or no expansion of use beyond that previously existing and do not involve removal of the scenic resource. 2, are exempt under Article 3, Section 1, Class 1, Category 3, existing facilities minor alteration of the City of Los Angeles Environmental Quality Act, CEQA guidelines from 2002, and 3, none of the exceptions to the use of this categorical exemption as set forth in Section 153.200.2 of the state CEQA guidelines apply. Number 2, review and approve the tree removal permit request for 4 London plane trees for proposed driveway construction, and tree replacements are required. Number 3, concur with the Bureau of Street Services at Streets LA determination that the site cannot feasibly accommodate all of the required replacement trees and pursuant to LAMC 62177C, authorize the tree replacement guarantee fee to satisfy the Public Works planting requirement. Mr. Banuelos is here from Streets LA to tell us what's going on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, President James, Commissioner, Bureau Representative, City Attorney, and Dr. Campos. Hector Banuelos with the Bureau, with the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. This is a request for four street trees, in order to construct large driveways. Their driveways are measured between 60 to 110 feet are proposed to be installed, so that large buses can enter and exit the property. The property is on Grand Avenue, but bounded by 17th Street, 18th Street, and Olive Street. This is a squared large property under the I-10 freeway owned by Caltrans. The Foothill
It's a Caltrans property, Hector, that these buses need to get in and out of, correct?
Yes, it's Caltrans property. Foothill Transit has acquired a long-term lease with Caltrans and are proposing to install these driveways so that they can have a daytime layover for their buses. In addition to the Foothill Transit, it will also be used by LA Department of Transportation and the Antelope Valley Transportation District. And so this large area is, the large driveways are required in order to, for the buses to, they can enter and maneuver within the parking lot. So if the, I guess one of the objectives of this is to minimize the buses from traveling from LA to different parts of the city or the county, right, empty. Right. And so this will then minimize that need to have these buses traveling by themselves, right, and of course help alleviate some of the traffic congestion and the smog within the city.
We don't necessarily, this is a program that Metro is doing in a number of places around the region. We don't necessarily see it that often. We see it because of the tree removal that's necessary here. So we might see one or two or three more of these in the next year and a half. Go ahead.
Yes, and so we've worked with Foothill Transit and asking as to their other alternative locations, and so they don't have to remove the trees. However, it's very unusual that they come across a property like this in the area, and so this seems to be the only location that's really feasible for their intended use. And so therefore, this project here with the driveway, proposed driveway, is going to impact 4 street trees and going to require their removals. If the project is approved, the applicant, it appears that there's room for 2 trees, 2 24-inch box-sized crepe myrtles on the 18th Street or there within that on the project site. And the remainder of the 6 trees will be, the applicant will pay the guaranteed in lieu tree planting fee. The Streets LA determined the project is exempt pursuant to the City of Los Angeles Environmental Quality Act guidelines. As previously mentioned, the applicant shall plant 2 trees and shall water the trees for a period of 3 years. The 9th Council District Office, the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and the Community Forestry Advisory Committee were advised of the tree removal permit request. Any questions?
Yes, Commissioner Cabell.
Thank you, President James. I think this is a really smart project in terms of getting congestion off the streets, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and it's a very creative solution to find this property at a very centrally located neighborhood. So understanding why this is before us and the need for the removals. But I'm just curious, I know that you mentioned in the board report and in your oral report that the council office was notified. Do they support this project, and are they okay with the resolution in terms of the in lieu fee, or the replacement fee, I should say, I'm sorry.
Yes, the council office is in full support of the project, from what I understand, and as well as the mayor's office.
Yeah, I know that. I was more curious, but it was very clear the mayor's office was part of finding this solution. I was just curious about the council office because that wasn't mentioned. But thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, Mr. Banuelos, but with our replacement tree program, we will, those funds are used to while it's new, I always just like to put a statement on the record for people that are listening to these sometimes after the fact and they're just listening to one agenda item. The replacement tree program fee the replacement tree fee program, hard to say that fast 4 times, enables us to not send these replacement trees to a nursery where they sit. Instead, it provides the funding for us to put replacement trees in other parts of the adjoining area, the council district, or even other parts of the city that are canopy poor in many ways, which is, and that's what these funds would go to as well, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you. Anything further? Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4. Seconded by Commissioner Caloza. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any issues sending number 4 forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item number 5, authority for expenditure for temporary accounting services from Act 1 Personnel Services in the adjusted amount of $95,945.60 for urgent invoice payment processing. Recommending that the board first find in accordance to the Los Angeles, maybe in accordance with the Los Angeles City Charter Code, Section 371E, that it is in the City of Los Angeles' best interest to exempt and sole source the need for continued temporary accounting services, since it's impractical to competitively bid these services due to its temporary technical nature and urgency to meet construction invoice payment deadlines as required by the California Public Contract Code and the city's 30-day payment policy. I could testify to that if I had to. Secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to Public Works, subject to the city attorney approval, to execute authority for expenditure number 19-740303M in the adjusted amount of $95,945.60 with Act 1 Personnel Services for temporary accounting and administrative services. And third, this is an amendment provided to me by our executive director, our executive officer, I should say. Authorize myself or 2 members of the board, instead of the executive officer, authorize the president or 2 members of the board as the amendment to work with Act 1 Personnel Services to execute and amend the conditions of the agreement to extend the term of work to June 30th, 2019. Mr. Valencia on number 5.
Good morning, Commissioners and Bureau Reps. My name is Jason Valencia with the Board of Public Works. The report before you is requesting a $26,000 increase to a current AFE authority for expenditure that we currently have with Act 1 Personnel Services for accounting and administrative services in our Office of Accounting. The reason for this request, as read in the recommendations, is to allow the Office of Accounting to make timely payments to stay in compliance with the California Public Contract Code as well as with the city's 30-day payment policy. If we violate the Public Contract Code, the contractor can assess a 10% penalty on the amount due. So it is in the city's best interest to be proactive on this work and make the payments in a timely manner. Although we have filled approximately 20 vacancies in our accounting office over the past few months, some of the staff didn't start until February and some are starting in May. So this kind of gives us that lag time to help train and onboard the new staff and get them up to speed. So this is asking for, like I said, additional $26,000 for the temporary accountants to push us all the way through the end of June.
Thank you, Mr. Valencia. I certainly support this. A couple of questions, though, I have for you. Commissioner Cabello and I just had a quick sidebar conversation that brought a question to mind. Okay, this is taking us to the end of June. Our first FSR, Commissioner Cabello, is October? Okay, fall, September, October. So we may need some additional services even through there, because we're going to want to approach the CAO and the council and the CLA quite likely in the first FSR regarding getting some assistance for the accounting office. So I'm really just kind of foreshadowing with the 2 of you that you may need to be back here again for another increase, provided we can find the funding for it to get us to that point.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. I'm hoping not to be before you to increase this AFE. However, I am planning to bring before you a longer-term contract that we could put in place so that we can have as-needed accounting services that would take us more than just this fiscal year. We do anticipate that there is going to be an increased need for accounting services. We are currently deliberating, or the City Council is currently deliberating the current budget for fiscal year 1920, and we do know that budget will be short in terms of providing accounting services. So we hope the next time we are before you within the next 2 months or so, hopefully less, that we can present a longer-term contract with Act One. Currently, the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, DUN, has been negotiating a contract, and they've actually executed a contract with Act One through a RFP competitive selection process. So we're going to piggyback and then include the Department of Transportation, who is also in desperate need of accounting services. So I've been in contact with the Department of Transportation. So the idea is to bring a 3-year contract before you. Funding will be a little unclear at this point in time, but we may just ask for the master agreement to be executed and then add services as we find funding to support these services. The item before you is for $95,000. Just to give you an idea, 2 accountants would probably run us about $120,000. My preference is to have 2 full-time employees that are here 40 hours a week, as opposed to temporary employees that are coming in and out, and then we have to train them, and then we know that we have to let them go at one point in time. So.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Campos. So that'll be my motion on agenda item number 5 as amended, seconded by Commissioner Cabello. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Agenda item number 6, third 1-year renewal option. That may be the last one. For Myron Electric Construction Corporation, recommending that the board first request authority from the Board of Public Works, doing right now, to exercise the third 1-year renewal option contained in the construction services between LA Sanitation and Myron Electric Construction Corporation for specialized high voltage services to modify, modernize, and perform preventative and predictive maintenance of the high voltage electrical distribution infrastructure of sanitation's water reclamation plants and wastewater pumping plants. This is the third of 3 1-year renewal options. All terms and conditions shall remain in effect. The total contract ceiling remains unchanged at $6 million. Mr. Viato.
Hi, good morning. Gabriel Viato, LA Sanitation.
I'm Aldina Svilcic with Criterion, electrical engineer.
You're with?
Criterion.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay.
Yes,
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, City Attorney, Executive Officer, and Bureau Representatives. I'm here to request the execution of the third 1-year renewal option with Myron Electric Construction Corporation. Exercising the third 1-year renewal option will provide continued and uninterrupted specialized high voltage services for LA Sanitation. Myron has provided satisfactory services to LA Sanitation thus far and has proven that they are a reliable contractor.
So I don't have any questions about going forward with the third 1-year renewal for Myron, because I remember that we've done this obviously a few times. But my question is, what are we doing next? Because we're out of renewals, so what happens for the longer term next year?
Okay. Currently, we're requesting for proposal is in process, and because after reviewing the current contract, we found that it wasn't adequate, and so we're working on revising the terms.
Okay, any idea? I just want to make sure that sanitation is equipping itself, that you have enough time in the next year, which you should, but to get the RFP done and out so you won't have a service interruption?
President, we already started to work on the new contract, the paperwork, because we are aware that it takes much longer than we have anticipated. So we already started the process.
Okay.
Hopefully it's going to be done before this year is over.
Great. Well, if it's not, we'll figure out what we need to do, if we need to do a month to month. But a year's enough time, and you all 3, including Ollie there, seem to be confident, so that satisfies me. Yes, Mr. Yes, Ollie.
Ali VC, LA Sanitation. This new RFP that we're putting out, we're going to extend the term of it. We realize that having 3 1-year renewal options is just not enough time for us, so that is in our long-term plan.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6, seconded by Commissioners Garcia and Cabello. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 6 forthwith? We will send number 6 forthwith. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned this Monday morning. Have a nice week, everyone.